All right, so after that combat cast wasn't real good. That wasn't real good at all. But one of the best things I think that actually came out of it was the reintroduction of the Warrior Shrine that was part of MK11. So we're going to go through this because there's a fair bit. So basically, the middle mesa where you used to go and do the challenge tower and run around and do all that sort of crap, which was just waste of time. Like, it's just busy work for busy work's sake. They have now consolidated it, something else I theorize that they might do, into this particular thing, right? So as soon as it was sort of like, I think when we saw the Towers of Time, I think in the launch trailer or something, I theorized that, yep, this is what they're going to try and pull everything together, right? So the way it works, you'll notice down the bottom left, you've got a shop and a forge. It allows you, with the coin down on the bottom right, to be able to create, I'm assuming like dumbass talismans and stuff like that, to then, take that and use that to, get you through all the different towers. So in the very center one, you've got the arcade tower coming back here, right? So the center one's the arcade tower. The three towers at the back, like if we come back a little bit further, also, by the way, too, you'll see under towers now, it's actually got Towers of Time, right? Which is pretty cool. Okay, that's a debug menu as well. So you'll notice too that when it goes in here, you'll see these three towers pop up at the back. Those three towers are the characters, the new characters that are coming in. Which, if you beat each tower, I'm assuming even if you own it, or maybe if you don't own it, because you beat each tower and you unlock like a piece of artwork. Anyway, so here you've got access to the arcade towers, right? Like, so just an arcade tower. I'm assuming it's set. And then you've got the seasonal tower, which they have, which is just like the usual garbage, right? Shows you what the reward is still. Okay. And then you have other towers. You can see here you got different timers available on all these towers to show how much things are left and whatnot. So that's fine. Over here, you get the legacy tower. So this particular one, you actually get... so apparently... so you can see there, it's saying apparently it requires 2,500 crowns required. I'm assuming to access that tower. I'm assuming that, right? So this is where I start to worry, alright? Are we supposed to be grinding up this useless currency in invasions, and then coming in here, and then wasting it on that particular tower to unlock the old stuff? Like, how much grind... My first thought with these sorts of like mobile game-esque type tactics is like, how much grind is involved? Because grind is not gameplay, grind is not fun. Okay? So it depends on how much it takes to get those 2,500 coins, which I'm assuming is the access to get into that tower. Because I thought at first, oh, maybe it's a reward, but no, it says 2,500 coins required, right? So you can't just go in there and play. This is what I mean. Like, this is what I mean. It's like, is that fun? Oh, we can't have that. We better put, we better put a wheel clamp on that. Like, but again, if you make the coin real fast, if you make a ton of it really fast, and you can in invasions, then that's fine. I think what their goal is here is they want people playing through invasions, right? Because they've committed to that game mode, so they're just not going to let it go, right? Maybe not yet, okay? And that way, then, what do you call it? Because I don't even know if we're going to get repeat invasions. Because the Warrior Shrine has like the top tier people that maxed out that of the Warrior Shrine for that for the season, each season. So if they redo the seasons, does that mean that then gets reset? I mean, imagine being that stupid. Anyway, so you got the back one here. You got hourly ones as well. It doesn't say what the rewards are, but somebody did say in the chat, I think, or somebody I spoke to last night or in the chat, said that it's probably good XP. So this might be a good way to farm up XP for your characters. Like, that could be a way to do it. You got another tower here. This is another hourly tower, right? You've even got, what's this one? That's another hourly tower, another one, right? So that's sort of like that middle row through here is all hourly, it looks like. And then of course you've got the new character trials at the back as well. So if you don't have the expansion, you can come in and try those out, right? It also tells you what the reward is, and I think each one is like some sort of like character background for your profile or whatever, right? Or foreground. So again, like, I'm assuming that if you bought the expansion, you'll get that stuff anyway. It's not. I'm hoping you won't have to play that again. Now this is the other part, right? So this is the thing that also worries me a little bit, right? Because again, you know, the grind in this game is pretty bad when it comes to your mastery levels for your characters, right? That needs to be definitely sorted. In fact, just get rid of it. Like, who gives a fuck? It's a year later. Who cares? Like, really? You know, like, your game ain't that special that people think it's some great feat to do that. Thankfully, I ground out all the characters in the first season when you could do those XP buffs, like the XP trick that you could do in Invasions on a couple of the nodes. And then after that, any DLC character came out, you know, playing through it with the cameo that you haven't leveled up would be more than enough to do it. But that's what I mean, like, it's just kind of forcing these things that people don't really enjoy. I like the idea of Towers of Time. It's consolidating everything. You still got the stupid shrine, and I think maybe the seasonal store. The shrine is going to have like the brutalities, and they're going to be adding brutalities and shit to it as well. And I think also the stuff in the Towers of Time, I think. But anyway, so this particular part, it says here that earn as many points as you can by completing challenges. So you got the 3 challenges. You got a daily, you got a weekly, and of course an hourly one. So obviously you could do 24 challenges. 25 challenges, sorry, in a day if you wanted. Obviously inclusive of the daily one. Of the daily one, not the hour, you know, like 24 hourly ones. And yeah, you get what I'm saying. Your total points. So looking over now to the right, your total points determine your rank compared to other players. You will earn the rewards of your current rank and those below when the clock strikes 0. So you can see here at the top, you've got a timer, right? Essentially what it will be a 2-week timer, right? From what I'm guessing here from what they're showing. In this 2-week timer, you have points that you earn from doing these challenges that will obviously fill up, you know, so to get all the rewards. I'm assuming it's going to be starting at the bottom and then working all the way to being up into the top 5%, right? The worst part is look at the text at the bottom. It says your rank will decrease as more players earn points. Keep earning points to maintain your rank. This is mobile game shit, right? This is digital decay in real time, right? Now, in MK11, from what I understand, in Kombat League, if you got to say like a certain rank and you didn't play for a few days, you'd actually start to lose points or lose your rank, which is fucking stupid. They didn't do it in this game, but I think they're bringing it back because somehow they're masochists or whatever, like masochists, and they want this sort of stupid ass thing in here for what? Now, obviously, right? If you get to the top 5%, you've earned it all. So even if you lose all your points, it doesn't matter because you've earned all the rewards anyway. And that's perfectly fine. I'm wondering if they're going to use this as a system, not just this part, but also with the towers themselves, to access Kombat League stuff for those that don't play online, right? So you'll notice that the weekly challenge gives you a pittance of 75 dragon crystals, right? At 50 points a pop. The daily challenge is 7. The hourly challenge is 3. Okay. The question is, how many points does it take to get to the top 5%? Right? If it's 1,000, that's going to be a fucking grind. If it's 100, that's not bad, right? Because you do your weekly challenge, which obviously here it says you got to do 30,000 damage. It doesn't specify that it has to be online. Neither does using the talisman, and neither does using the fatal blows online. This seems like, and by the way, I have to re-clarify because I know I said in the video about Towers of Time, I said offline content. What I mean to say is not PvP content, right? Obviously I know it's always connected and stuff like that, right? But what I mean is it's not PvP content, meaning it's not you getting online and fighting another person, right? These challenges look like it's like, okay, you can do this without needing, you know, without needing to worry about going online and achieving it. What happens to, does this mean that the weekly and challenges and whatnot that they've got currently, have they gone? Are they going to be still in the game? They may have gone. They may have been taken completely out. I don't know. Because you'll notice that if you're on the top 100%, you immediately get 2,500 seasonal credits, right? Immediately. As soon as you hit that, then top 75, Hat, Scorpion Gear, Kenshi, and Geras, and Melina pallets, consecutively. But how many points is it to get to top 5%, right? Now, I'm hoping too that they'll also put in, say, a tower that will be for Kombat League stuff. Now, apparently, again, this is stuff that people have told me, in MK11, there used to be like some meteor, right? That if you put in a code, it would spawn like some tower that allowed you to get previous Kombat League stuff. That's perfect. They need to do stuff like that. There are a lot of people that don't play online. Like, I don't mind it, but Kombat League is just AIDS. It's about to get worse with the Warrior Shrine stupid shit. So I would prefer to just spend my time playing the arcade tower or playing in this area here. That's perfectly okay. I'm fine with that, right? I do my dailies on Grand Blue. I was doing my dailies and weeklies on Tekken. They're not too bad. They're reasonable, right? They're reasonable to do. I'm perfectly fine with that as long as we've got rewards. If there's no rewards on the back, like the hourly towers at the back, then is it XP, right? If we complete the tower, do we get a good chunk of XP towards, like the character mastery or something like that, right? That's what we need to know. We need to know those sorts of things, okay? And they didn't really go into a whole bunch of detail with that. They kind of just explained each tower briefly, and that was it. And then, of course, this thing here, which again, as I stated, it has a decayed system, meaning that, you've constantly got to have your upkeep of points. So imagine you earn, like if it's 100 points, maybe you earn like the weekly challenge, right? And you're like, oh, okay. And then you might get the flu and you're out of action for a week, right? And then everyone else gets higher than you. So then that reduces your amount, right? It's just sort of like, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, man. I don't know how this is going to go. Like, I have to see it in real time to figure out whether or not this is actually going to be decent. I'm happy with the rewards. Like, the rewards themselves are good. But if it's 1,000 or 10,000 points, you don't want people just sitting there grinding this crap. That's not gameplay. That's not fun, right? That's not content. You've got to make it so that people are going to enjoy the content. Now, I think, like, coming back to this menu just quickly, I'm very happy that they're doing it. Very happy that they're doing it, right? What I'm curious about, actually, let me just double check something because, now this is a debug menu, so I'm going to assume that I'm assuming the new background and the new menu is going to also look like Chaos Reigns. I know we've already seen a hint of that, but yeah, ultimately, like, I think they've done this so that way they're not giving anything away, right? I'm just loading up MK1 at the moment because I wanted to see, like, in a direct comparison to this debug menu. Let's see here. Let's just, change that down, put that here. Right. Alright, so let's have a look. Okay. So, extra is still the same, learn still the same, customize still the same, versus still the same. So what they've done, right, what they've done here is they've actually added in a towers section below campaign. Because campaign, right, includes, campaign and invasions, right? I will cheer like a schoolgirl if they ever get rid of invasions, right? So they've taken towers and they've moved it down into its own section with classic towers, so you have all the variety of towers, like different difficulties and endless and stuff like that, as well as the towers of time, okay? So I'm hoping that the towers of time will actually be a very good place to spend your time in, to earn the rewards that you're after, and that'd be great. That'd be really, really good. I'd be very happy with that. But I am concerned about a couple of those things, and we won't know until a few days' time when we get the game in our hands to see what's actually going on. They've obviously got quick access to the shop and the forge. They're bringing in a mini map as well for invasions, and some new shit like beating up, I think, like arcade machines. Like, yeah, big fucking deal. Like, that's just now they're just copying other stuff like Street Fighter where you beat up a car and whatever. Like, I want those game modes in their own sort of. I would take all of those different types of game modes and I put them in its own menu, right? And it's just like random. It just hits you with random ones and you got to try and beat them rather than just going through the whole invasions thing. Invasions is almost becoming obsolete, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is the last season that we actually get, right? Because this is actually what should have been there instead of invasions. Just pour everything into this, give us a story, obviously the towers, and then work on giving us extra fun game modes. Old game modes like test your might, test your sight, test your luck, motor combat, puzzle combat, chess combat. Spend time on that. This should have been there since day one, right? And hopefully my concerns won't be that big and it will all be okay. But let's just see how this rolls out. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Catch you next time.